So Caddx has released the Protos kit, and you've seen, if you're interested in it, or if you keep up with FPV, you've probably seen a ton of video reviews of it, people going over it. That's not what I'm going to do. I was sent one of these earlier test kits, which is a little bit different than what you guys have now. The quad, the VTX, the controller, the goggles are all the same, but the arrangement and some of the settings and things are different. But that's not what this video is about. I just wanted to do a comparison to compare the Ascent VTX with the Avatar VTX with the DJI O4 Light. So I have a course around my yard that we're going to fly all three on, so you can see kind of what each one looks like compared to the other, how it does, and at the end I'll kind of give you my thoughts on what I think this kit's good for, how I think it stacks up, and if you're already into FPV, you know, should you be interested in looking at the Ascent kit from my perspective. And but there are plenty of good videos out there already reviewing this, going over this, giving their thoughts. I'm actually going to link Nick Burns' video down in the info under the video. I don't know Nick, I'm just a huge fan of his stuff, and I think he does a great job going over this and giving a really good perspective on this. And he's the king of the micros, so if you really want a good review of this, check his video out. I'm just a tester. I test Caddx stuff, they send it to me. You know, they might make changes according to what me and some other testers say, they might not, it depends on what it is. And that's what this is. This is a test kit, and these are my test results. I wanted to compare it, wanted to throw it up against the other stuff, see how it does, see how the range and penetration does, and just relay that to you guys. Make your own decision from there. It's up to you. It's not going to affect me or my channel one way or the other. Caddx didn't make me sign something to tell you to buy this. They sent it to me to see how it stacks up and to do testing, because I've done a ton of testing on FPV gear behind the scenes. I don't make a lot of videos about it, but I'm constantly testing gear. Here is all three systems. I'm going to go over each system and kind of go over what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, so you guys can make a judgment call and see what you think about it. Alright, the first one up is going to be the Protos. I'm going to try to match these settings that on the Protos, maxed out what I found to be the best performance as far as range and penetration go. And we're going to match that with DJI, and we're going to match that with the Avatar system. So I found that 720p seems to hold connection a lot better than 1080p. 1080p, it drops out completely during the penetration portion of the course. So I leave it on 720p. It only goes up to 100 megawatts. So we run it at 100 megawatts. I'm going to try to match the other systems with that too. But here's the first video of the Protos, making the course, making the lap. And it'll give you an idea if you're flying around your yard or taking it to the park, kind of what it's going to do. So first up, we'll watch that video, and then we'll check back in. We'll do the Avatar next. So here is the Protos with the Ascent. The next up is Avatar, and Avatar I ran two ways. I ran the lowest I could get it, which was 25 megawatts, just to see how it did. And as you'll see in the video, it held up just fine on 25 megawatts. It gets a little fuzzy and smeary. That's what happens with Avatar when you lose signal. It holds on to that latency, but you get the smear kind of going. So then I try it on 200 because 100 is not available. So I went to 200, still 720p, still standard bitrate, and as 200 megawatts, it does great. no smearing, no breakup. It does just fine. But here is the video of the Avatar 1S Whoop making the lap. All right, last but not least, the DJI O4 Light. I have it in a 2S Whoop. As far as settings go on this, I was able to get to 100 megawatts on that, but unless I go to race mode, I can only do 1080p. And I did 1080p 60, I believe. It was either 1080p 60 or 1080p 100. But I mean, this kit is a lot more expensive. It's extremely hard to find right now. But some people out there have it, and I just wanted to at least compare it. It's, you know, DJI is kind of beyond the rest, but we'll go over some pros and cons of each system here in a little bit. But next up, DJI making the same course on the O4 Light. All right, so here's my thoughts on the little Protos and the Ascent versus the other two systems. In my opinion, my favorite is still going to be Avatar. Avatar, the latency is just so much more stable. The picture is Vista quality, and I've been flying for a while. I loved the Vista. I hated that the Vista went away. So I would Vista all the things if I still could. And to me, Avatar feels like a little bit better version of the Vista. The Ascent at 100 megawatts just doesn't have the penetration. The range seems fine, so if you're at a park, probably do all right, probably do just fine. I'm interested to get this VTX on a Whoop and really see what I can do with the latency, because the latency on the Protos is noticeable. When I switch to the other ones and then switch back to this, it is hard to get used to this. It takes a minute to get used to it. The latency is pretty high. It's not unflyable high, but it's noticeably higher to where if you're used to flying FPV under the different system, you're going to notice it, you're going to feel it. It's going to take you about a half a pack to kind of get used to it. Now DJI is beautiful. If all you want to do is float around and see things in beautiful HD, DJI is a great system for that. Unfortunately, the O4 Light is extremely fragile. I mean, Pringles chip fragile, super fragile. The cameras, or you can't buy a replacement lens. I know Flywoo has some lenses and cameras now that you can get shipped in from China. In the US, we're going to pay tariffs, so you're able to get spare cams from Flywoo. So there's at least that going for it. But from my experience, it's just not worth the hassle and the money when it's so fragile. With Avatar, the latency's dialed in, the options are dialed in. There's a little bit bigger of an ecosystem there. Yeah, DJI O4 is better quality. You can get great latency. It's just the fragileness of it makes it not worth it to me. And I'm already invested in Avatar a lot. And for micros, Avatar's the way to go. I'm looking forward to seeing where Ascent goes from here. And we're supposed to be getting some of the just regular Ascent VTX to test soon. And I'll be posting my thoughts and what I come up with on that and what kind of results I get. But unless they can really get this latency dialed back, I just don't see it as something I would switch to. I like Avatar. The Walksnail Avatar system is just perfect for micros in my opinion. DJI is great, don't get me wrong, but if you want to do some freestyle or learning how to fly where you're going to crash, I just don't think it's the way to go. That's just me. Some people might argue that, but O4 Light's just too much money for not enough return, in my opinion. Now the O4 Pro on 5-inch quads, I got a bunch of those back there. Love the O4 Pro. It's great. If the lenses was cheaper, I'd probably fly it more, but kind of waiting to see what happens with DJI. It's risky getting into DJI right now, but Avatar definitely still gets that thumbs up for me. And like I said, I'm going to post the link to Nick Burns' review down in the comments. Go check his video out. He does a really good job. I've watched it and I've watched a few others, and I like his the best, which I'm a big Nick Burns fan. Nick, if you're watching this, keep doing the good work that you do, man. Love your channel. But shout out to him. He does a great little overview of this, and kind of his thoughts I really agree with on it. Looking forward to seeing where they take this. This is some cool technology. It might be going somewhere good, but right now, unless you're a beginner, if you're a beginner, don't hesitate. This is a cheap way to dip your toes in and find out if you want to do FPV. If you want to dump hundreds and thousands into FPV, because that's what it's going to end up being. Not hundreds of thousands, hundreds and thousands. But FPV can be expensive, and if you've never done it and you want to see what it feels like, what it's like, what it all entails, this is a good place to start. And with more VTXs coming as a standalone, there is a place where you could possibly go from here. But if you really love it, then the sky's the limit. You'll end up like me with multiple systems, and that's just what happens when you get the FPV bug.